Should you be humble? I've been thinking about this concept for so long. I don't think being humble is a great trait because in society, obviously, if you're laid back, you're going to get taken advantage of, and people are going to, step all over you and act like you don't even exist. And I always, every time hear about being humble, I always think about the greats. Like during their time, they was saying how they feel. They was stepping over boundaries. They was accomplishing everything, but nobody liked them because they talked too much. Muhammad Ali, nobody liked him when he was talking. Mike Tyson, nobody liked him in his prime because he was saying how he feels. Perfect example, Floyd Mayweather. He talk all the time. He says how he feels. He's a great talker, but the problem is during that time before they say he's great, people don't like it because he makes people feel uncomfortable. When you are not humble and you're very successful in society's eyes, because there's different levels of success, but in society's eyes, if you got the money, if you got the situation, if you're great in whatever you do, people get uncomfortable when you express your attributes or your accomplishments to the world. And you would think, okay, it's a good balance. You accomplish stuff, you get everything you need. You don't always have to say it out loud. But you can't really force somebody to be humble because you don't know how long and what they had to go through to get to that point. You put in all this effort, night and day, struggling, being consistent, um, giving up things, putting your life on hold, giving up your time and energy, just so when you finally accomplish it, you can't say anything. People are going to feel like you're bragging and throwing it in their face. So, what are you supposed to do with all this time wasted? All the things you put aside just for this one accomplishment. And that's why most people, they're either quiet when they accomplish stuff or they're over the top. There's never no balance because you're either going to be cool with what your situation is and not have to tell anybody, or you want the world to know all the stuff you've been through. We see it every day on social media. People giving updates. When they get a house, they put a key right there so everybody knows they got a new apartment. When they get a new car, or they get a new car note, they take a picture with the salesman and have a nice little caption saying naming their car or something. So it's like it's a lot of people in society every time they accomplish something, especially if they put a lot of time and energy into it, they want to tell the world. But society doesn't like that because they want you to just win in silence. People, you'll get talked bad about and out and about, and everybody will say it out loud. But when you accomplish things, you can't even express how happy you are. You got to keep it to yourself. That's ridiculous. And I know plenty of people that dim their light for others nearly their entire life, and I am one of them. This is the problem, though. In order to be humble, you have to acknowledge that you're great at something or you have accomplished something. So, it's kind of a contradiction. But for me, it didn't matter what I thought. Even if I was a little bit better than people, I would immediately fall back. Whether it was dating women, whether it was video games, letting people win on the video games, whether it was outside playing sports, I never wanted to be center of attention or make somebody feel less than. So I would just keep it to myself or I would just fall back. And you know where that got me in life? Nowhere. You just keep falling back. And eventually, I always use it as a metaphor like if you're in a line waiting on something and somebody wants to jump you in line, and then you let another person jump you in line, and then another person jump you in line. You just stay in the same spot. I wouldn't say your entire life, but most of your life, if you be humble and kind of like, oh, I'm cool or whatever. No. In order to get up in life or just take a step or just get any type of shine on you, you have to talk. You have to say what it is. You got to be real. We be real when we're terrible at something. So how come we can't be outgoing and be like, I look good? You can't say that. I mean, I'm talking from a man's point of view. It's like you can't talk about how much money you make because people will say something. You can't talk about your accomplishments. Oh, who cares? That's you. It's like, dang if you do it, dang if you don't. Because if you do absolutely nothing, people are going to talk. And if you do everything and talk about it, people are going to talk about you. So what do you do? What do you do? Is there another synonym for being humble that's way better than being humble? Because I think it's a horrible idea. Now, what I had a conversation or a comment left on one of my videos, or it was a post where they was like, people need to take piece of humble pie. I agree 100%. Some people need to be humble. In certain circumstances, you need to be humbled when, and it's weird because it's all subjective, but if you're a little bit too confident, if you're too sure of yourself, like like I said, it sounds crazy because how do you know what somebody's limitation is? But sometimes people do need to get dragged back down to reality, and you need to chill a little bit. So there's limits of boasting and bragging and being confident. There's limits, of course. Sometimes life is going to humble you anyways, no matter what. If you're not appreciative of what you have, if you're always wanting more and needing more, and you feel like you deserve more, you're going to get humbled, whether it's a human being or life is going to humble you anyways. And that's how we become better people. But the problem is, I don't like the definition of humble, which is like dim your light or like downplay your status. Who are we doing that for? Who gains from that? Nobody. I'm not gaining anything from that. And what is it making you feel comfortable for a couple of seconds and then now I'm back to reality? Like in every sport, we can talk about sports from right now. There's hundreds of players. And the humble ones never, they're good on the stat sheet. So yeah, they're great. But that's it. They like literally limit themselves to getting commercial deals or being in movies because they don't say much. Now, there are exceptions, people that are just outstanding in the sports. Yeah, sooner or later, people are going to talk about you regardless. But if you want like worldwide success, you have to talk your stuff. You got to say what it is. You have to, especially if you put out all that energy and time into something just for somebody to put a cap on you and be like, hey, chill out. You're saying too much. You need to chill. You need to sit down and be humble. No, I'm not a Kendrick fan. So it's like, I don't understand what they want from us. I don't understand what they want us to do because I'm going to tell you right now, I'm a nice dude. I probably never like I think for the rest of my life I am gonna chill. I'm never trying to make somebody feel uncomfortable about their situation. If I have a brand new car, I'm not a flashy person, so I'm not gonna post it online because you never know people's situation. So it's hard for me to just boast and brag because there can be somebody literally right next to me that's going through so much terrible stuff. So it's hard for me to do that. Just me. I'm not saying I'm a perfect person. There might be situations where I do have to say what it is, but it's nice to be humble because you're always giving yourself room to grow. Because there's always room to grow in every like level you're at, there's always rooms to grow. But if you're too confident and you don't humble yourself, you're gonna put a cap on yourself too. If you're a rapper, if you feel like you're the best rapper in the world and nobody can be better than you, where's the room for improvement? You're already there. In sports, if you feel like you're the best, in being an actor or actress, if you feel like you're the best and you don't have any humble spot in your body, then you're just gonna cap yourself out, and that's horrible. Life is all about balance. But when you just try to erase one part of it, like you can't say nothing, or because you might make people feel uncomfortable, it now everything's all balance. And all these people, everybody that you know at some point had to say what it was. Now, some people let the numbers speak. Some people let the numbers speak, and then also we got to we got to think about the people that just don't want to be known. Some people don't want to be known, so they don't say anything. Some people like being behind the camera or in the background. And I understand that too. But we can't look down or frown on the people that do like saying how great they are because you never know what they went through. You never will know. Some people have that easy walk, and some people went through all trials and tribulations just to get where they're at, and now they can't even say it. I know plenty of people that like to brag about their situation, and it never bothered me because that's their situation. I guess I'm not a hater or anything. If you're doing great, that's wonderful. I can't say I'm proud of you because I don't care that much, but if you're actually working on yourself and trying to better yourself, you will never be worrying about humbling somebody. What's the point? You're going to be too focused on bettering yourself. That their situation has nothing to do with you. Now, if they're trying to literally make you feel bad by bragging and boasting and talk about how better, that's totally different. But if they are just expressing and being happy about their situation, let them be happy. Let people be. Let people be what they want to be. The more you focus on yourself, the more you're worried about yourself and bettering yourself, the less you're going to be bothered by other people's situation, period. And that's another thing. You not only should you not be bothered by somebody's confidence, you shouldn't be excited when somebody's going through rough patches in their life either. That's just as bad. And if you are excited by people's downfall or bothered by people's, accomplishments, that says way more about you than it says about them. Because people's personality is different, people express stuff differently, and you shouldn't be bothered by any of that, especially if it's not towards you. If somebody you just scrolling and you see somebody just went out of town and it bothers you, or if you're scrolling and see somebody got a new car, it bothers you. Now I don't agree with them posting it. Like that's not me, but it shouldn't bother you. So when people say you should be humble, certain circumstances, but it's a small piece of circumstances. You got one life to live. We should be excited, even if it's small things that we accomplish, big or small. And I think people only should be humble if they just take it overboard. If they just go and it's hurting other people in the process, like intentionally hurt people. Intentionally. But if you're not intentionally hurting people and you're just expressing yourself, be humble for what? What are you talking about, Kendrick? Be humble for what? You're good. You are good. Because as time goes on, yeah, I'm getting older and I'm seeing life through a different perspective. Perception is different. I'm gonna be more humble just because of where I came from. I'm probably gonna be more humble, but there are people that started right next to me with absolutely nothing, and they just express it a different way. And it doesn't bother me because that is their life, and it shouldn't bother anybody. It shouldn't bother you, sir or ma'am. So yes, it's you should be humble sometimes. I can't just say it's exceptions to the rule, but confidence, I just love seeing confidence in people. I'd rather see a confident person be excited about accomplishments than somebody always downplaying their own accomplishments just because, insecurities or they feel like they should do more. I don't want to see that. I don't really like the concept of people being humble and just not expressing how great they are because that's why so many people, I'm sure people work next to people that are very talented. They could be a rapper, a singer, and they're very good at dancing, but they just don't have enough confidence to take that extra step. And they may waste their life away because they're, downplaying how great they are or how great they can become. And it's a sad thing to see. Now, it's a sad thing for me to see. I know there's people that kind of want people to stay on their level, so they can feel better about themselves. No, I want everybody to be great. I don't think anybody's life should be wasted and, not taking full, control over your life. I don't like that. I hate how it's a small group of people that own everything and then everybody else is, trying their best just to survive. That's ridiculous. It should never be like that. It's so many opportunities, so much money out here, and it's like the internet and society is making people so insecure where people just would rather stay in their spot. They're already uncomfortable on a regular basis, and in order to grow, you have to be uncomfortable. So it's like you're uncomfortable on top of uncomfortable on top of uncomfortable on top of not being able to pay any bills on top of not even being able to live. So you just stay in a box for most of your life. And that's where most people are going to go because this humble nonsense. Don't be humble. Find out what you really love. Find out what you really want to do in life. And you do that. Forget what anybody else says. I think the lighting on this video is very dim, but I really want to know what other people think. I do these lives because I would like to have conversation and I want to hear other people's thoughts. I really want to know what you think. Do you think people should be humble? Do you think it's a balance? Do you think it's a thin line between humble and just acknowledging yourself and acknowledging the greatness that you have and how great you are? Because everybody has that in them. As long as you are consistent and you do what you need to do and you try to be better every day, everybody should have the opportunity to be great at something. Now, it's going to be days where there's no movement at all. And I've been there. But slow motion is better than no motion. So this is not a motivational video. This is just me ranting about this humble nonsense because everybody wants to bring people down on their level. It seems like nobody wants people to exceed above them. They don't want to see you do bad. They want to see you do good, but they do not want to see you do better than them. They don't want to see it. That's sad. Because and that's why you should work on yourself and try to be better. Because the more you work on yourself, the more you better your situation and better yourself, you wouldn't mind seeing other people or being around other people that are in the same boat. Because misery loves company and happiness loves company too. I know how corny that sounds. It's corny. I know it is. But misery does love company and happiness loves company too. So when you're happy, you want to see other people happy. When you're sad and miserable, most people want to see everybody sad and miserable because you want people to be on your level. And the more sad and miserable you are, the harder it's going to be around people that are confident and talking about what they did. There's literally people on this earth that are natural born haters. They just hate. They're born to hate. And then there's people that want to see everybody do great. And then there's, the people in the middle that just don't care, which is fine too. That's wonderful. I go live Monday through Thursday, 11 a.m. I try to be on time. Hit that